What's up, everybody? Let's talk Jets radio. Quick video here breaking down the Denzel Mims situation from the night he was drafted to now his agent has requested a trade away from the New York Jets. Can't say this is all that surprising. I mentioned a few nights ago, not so much because of ability, but just because lack of opportunities. Player clearly disgruntled that I did not see him making the team as a number 5 or a number 6 wideout. Clearly, he feels that his value is much higher than that and that he should be a top 3 or a top 4 wideout with more opportunities, and maybe he'll get that somewhere else. Connor Hughes reporting today that the Jets, I guess, are open to trading him, but they're only going to trade him if they get fair value back, whatever that is. I'm not exactly sure. But you go back to the night he was drafted, and there was a lot of pressure immediately on Joe Douglas to address the wide receiver position. If you remember, he just lost Robbie Anderson. The only move they made was signing Rashad Perriman, which, a lot of the fan base was not convinced at the time that was the answer. So you look at the top portion of the second round, the Jets were supposed to pick 48, and guys like T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, Laviska Shenault, a lot of talented players go off the board. And again, hindsight's 2020, but to Joe Douglas's credit at the time, this was largely praised that he was able to move back from 48 to 59 and still land a player in Denzel Mims who was projected to go early round 2, had a great combine, a good size speed combo, maybe a little bit of a project, but somebody that still had those attributes to potentially be a number 1 wideout. So you go to his rookie year, and it's kind of up and down. Granted, Adam Gase offense, but year 2 training camp, for me, that's where things really started to break down. And early on, it became apparent that something was off. I know there was a lot of questions about whether or not he was able to fit the Michael LaFleur offense as far as just, precise route running, yards after the catch. He's more of a deep vertical threat, contested catch kind of guy. So right away, things seemed off. He was getting a lot of reps on special teams. Then there was the food poisoning thing where he missed like a week or 10 days, and it never really felt like he got going. Guys like Jeff Smith and others passed him on the depth chart. When he did play, there were penalties, there were drops. So for whatever went wrong, and eventually it came out that he did have issues with conditioning, that he wasn't in the best of shape, that he didn't really learn the playbook or take the time needed to learn it. So for whatever went wrong, the Jets made the decision ultimately to try to bring him back for year 3. So clearly they upgraded at the position. I'm not saying Mims should be rolling with the ones ahead of, Garrett Wilson or Corey Davis or Elijah Moore, but ultimately they did make the decision to bring him back. And you would think in the best interest of the player, you try to see what you have and you try to see what you could do. Clearly the guy has a physical skill set that you'd be able to work with. He could go get it in the red zone. He's a vertical threat. He could take the top off while you have Moore and Wilson do their thing underneath. You would think you can find some kind of package for him where maybe he can find a role as your number 5 or number 6 wideout. But ultimately, again, it became apparent right away in training camp to start this year again when you see him head down, walking over to special teams drills while a lot of the other wide receivers are actually catching passes and doing drills with the quarterbacks. So, I'm not saying ego is involved, but something just felt off again where he never really got out of the doghouse for whatever reason. In spite of Saleh even saying that, he showed up to training camp in phenomenal shape. He's better with the playbook now. You would think that would warrant some more opportunities. He had guys like Tariq Black and others that were ahead of him to start the second preseason game. So it's just kind of felt like, he's been rolling with Streveler in the threes a lot. It's just felt like he's never really gotten out of that doghouse and never really got a true chance to showcase what he could do. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he's earned it. He owns whatever he did last offseason as far as the conditioning and not being prepared. But like I said, if you're going to take the time to bring him back, at the very least, try to make the impression from the outside looking in that this is a player with talent, with ability, but we just have too many guys. That way teams are calling you, maybe offering a 3rd or a 4th or a 5th round pick, instead of now it's pretty known that the player's disgruntled and that the Jets really don't see a future for him within the offense. They could try to say all they want that they like his talent, they want to keep him, but the reality is just based on the reps he's been given in training camp, they don't really see a role or a future for him within the offense. So it's sad, another 2nd round pick, but hopefully Joe Douglas can pull something off here. Talk to you guys later.